Welcome everybody, welcome to 10 Minute Reviews. Jason here bringing you today's video. As always guys, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check the links down below for links to today's book and anything else that might be applicable. I could use the traffic through the Amazon link, so I definitely appreciate it. The contest is obviously over. It was over almost a month ago. I'm sending out the emails right now to the winners. I do have more signed books, so I will be doing more contests coming up. And thank you very much to our patrons. I'll be sending out those prize winners as well. And otherwise, let's get into today's video. So for today's video, very similar to a video I filmed earlier where I was talking about some of my favorite fantasy characters. This time I want to go into the thriller slash mystery genre and talk about some of my favorite characters there as well. This list isn't quite as long. There's plenty more. I just don't want to keep doing these endless lists, so I break them up. There's lots and lots of fantastic characters, and I'm sure I'll talk about more of them later, though my next one will definitely be sci-fi. Possibly my next two. So, in no particular order, some of my favorite mystery and thriller characters. First one, Burke. Burke comes up. Those of you guys that have read the books will know exactly who I am talking about. Burke and his little criminal family, but Andrew Vachss and his Burke novels. He's written a bunch of other stuff, and unfortunately he has passed away, I believe. I am glad he finished the Burke series and what happens with the Burke family, and he ended it well, I think, but Burke was definitely my favorite, although Max is really close. Next up is kind of more of a, it's hard to say exactly any one, but I'm going to go into Robert B. Parker. Spencer, of course, but I've kind of put a whole bunch of them at the same level. Spencer, Hawk, Vinnie Morris, Cholo, Bobby Horse, Teddy Sapp, all fantastic characters that I really enjoy. And in fact, Potshot is my favorite of the Robert B. Parker books just because it brings in so many. He basically makes a super team with so many of his characters. A lot of whom I mentioned: Bobby Horse, Cholo, Spencer, Hawk. I know since Mr. Parker passed away that there have been other authors writing more Spencer books. I've attempted to read them, and unfortunately, while they do the best they can at staying true to the characters, unfortunately, there's too much of a drift. I mean, just in one book that I saw, just in the span of about 2 pages, I'm pretty sure Vinnie Morris had more dialogue in those 2 pages than he had in all of Robert B. Parker's books combined. Maybe it took 3 pages, but Vinnie was not a talker. He was never a talker. And there's similar small little things that just, if you've read all of the Spencer books, they don't feel right. They don't ring true. The characters are not the characters that you have come to really enjoy. But Spencer, one of them. Next up, I'm going to go into Matthew Riley. Definitely more of a thriller kind of thing. And I'm going to talk about Scarecrow, or Shane, the Supermarine, basically. And of course, I could also go with the Black Knight on there, but Scarecrow, definitely one of my favorites, even though he has ended up making a much longer series with Jack, the Australian Super Commando. But the mystical nature of it and the almost impossible level, the impossible level of cybernetics with his fake hand and stuff like that, but then the mystical, the magical, and I mean, Scarecrow does some pretty crazy and impossible things, but not quite to the same level as what's going on in these other books. So Scarecrow, for sure, one of my favorite characters. Dirk Pitt. Now, I had a lot of fun with Clive Cussler's books. I personally even enjoyed the Matthew McConaughey version of Dirk Pitt in the movie Sahara, and I've always enjoyed the Dirk Pitt character. He was one of my favorites for a long time, and when I was growing up, I read a lot of Clive Cussler. Always loved the Dirk Pitt character. It was always one of my favorites. Bernie Rodenbar. I'm not even going to list the author on this one. Oh, it is right back there behind me. But those of you guys that know. Those of you guys that don't, well, sorry, but you're really missing out. Now, Bernie Rodenbar is not a hero per se. To some people, he would definitely be a hero. He's definitely saved some people from situations, but he is by no means a hero. Bernie Rodenbar is kind of an old man. He owns a bookstore, used bookstore, but he owns a bookstore, and he's a cat burglar. Well, not really a cat burglar. He doesn't do a whole lot of climbing, but he's a burglar. He's a thief. That's what he is. That's what Bernie is. He's a professional thief that just so happens to constantly find himself in the middle of odd circumstances and big crimes and things that he's sort of a suspect in, but they can't quite prove anything. But it's curious how he always seems to be popping up on these things, and then he ends up solving it. And Bernie Rodenbar, there's a lot of books in that particular series, and they are all so much fun. He's an amusing character, great author, legendary author within the mystery genre, and one of my favorite characters. So hopefully you guys, hopefully at least some of you guys know who Bernie Rodenbar is. Mitch Rapp. Mitch Rapp, also sitting right back there behind me. They actually made a movie, American Assassin, based on the books. Actually, based on, I believe the title of the book was American Assassin. It was basically Mitch Rapp's origin story, even though they talked about it, they hinted at it. Well, not hinted, they talked about it pretty clearly throughout the books. I think what ended up happening with him, because he actually tried to, instead of keeping Mitch in the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, his world actually did progress. As the years went by, as he was writing, the years went by, the world progressed politically, geopolitically. Mitch also progressed, and eventually he was no longer able to be this hidden assassin in the shadows because he started getting too well known, some of the higher ups. Then he started becoming well known internationally, and then he moved further and further and further up the chain, even within the CIA, to where he got more and more well known. And I think there was kind of a point where the author realized he might have kind of painted himself into a little bit of a corner as far as what he could do with Mitch Rapp, where he now put him on the geopolitical scale. So going back and writing his origin story was a great idea, and it ended up being a pretty good movie. The last one, Lucas Davenport. Now, there's a whole bunch of characters that this particular author has written, and again, I've got a whole bunch of them down there. Actually, I have a whole ton of them signed. I actually met the author a couple times. I have it hanging on the wall of my bedroom. I actually have a picture with the author that he signed. And the Lucas Davenport series, the Prey series, started. I remember the very first book. I've read the Prey series from the absolute beginning all the way through. I think I might have missed the last two though, but I love that character. That character has been awesome, and also his progression through the books and through the series and through life has been pretty awesome and a whole lot of fun. And they're just straight mysteries. They're straight mysteries, and a lot of times they're solved with a little bit of luck as well. And they're a lot of fun. So thank you everybody for watching. If you guys have any characters that you really enjoy, put them down in the comments below or jump onto our Discord. Talk about them on there with each other. We will catch you guys next time. Bye now.